Let me catch you up.
So I just want to jump right into Outer Banks. I'm going to talk a little bit about season 4, part 1, and then I'm going to ask you if you can tease anything for part 2.
Beautiful. So, I just want to say your eyeshadow is so pretty. You look gorgeous.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, thank you. I got in very late last night on a flight, so honestly, I'm glad that
yeah, I understand. Beautiful.
So I'm curious, when you got this role, did you know that Sophia was going to play such a large part in Rafe's life? And if not, when did you sort of find out, like, oh, I'm like, this is a much bigger part than I thought it would be?
Oh, that's cool. I like that question. No, I didn't, frankly. Like, you tend to not get a lot of information when auditions come in. So it just, earlier on, I had actually auditioned, like, years before, like, back in 2018, I think, I had auditioned for another role in Outer Banks. And then when it came back, and then I watched it when it came out, and then I have this audition come in for Sophia. And I was like, oh, sure, this show, like, that's cool. And I knew that, you know, she would be close to Rafe and everything, but I didn't know that it would develop like that. Even in season 3, I think there was going to be a lot less of her, and it started opening up. So it's really beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm curious, how did you work with Drew and sort of formulate this relationship? Because obviously in season 4, the relationship gets like, there's a lot more of it, obviously.
Yeah.
The relationship is a lot closer too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Drew is a wonderful person. He's a great human being and you know, spectacular actor, as you know. And he really cares for his craft. Sorry for the motorcycle. He really cares for his craft and to you know, sit down and kind of break the scenes down. And I very much do too. So it was very easy to kind of get into that you know, headspace together every time, and just every time we were on set and working, just develop the characters more and more. And then we also got along great from the beginning, I think. So it was a very nice, smooth, and he was very welcoming to me. So so it was very easy to just kind of, you know, organically every time we went to work say, okay, you know, why do you say this? Why do I say that? Does this make more sense? And kind of break it down until it felt like these characters had a story, almost like in the little limbo between 3 and 4, you know, like, because it's okay, she just shows up in 3, but you know, what's their story? So we had to give it that kind of weight, I guess, which doesn't exist, and you just have to make sure it translates to screen. So, but it's very easy when someone, you know, when people care about their craft and they're kind about it. It's very wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious, what do you think attracts Sophia to Rafe? Because obviously Rafe, I mean, I guess maybe everybody in that world doesn't know how crazy Rafe can be sometimes.
Yes.
But he's obviously he's a lot. Let's just say that.
He's a lot. Yeah. I think, as she mentioned in season 3, she's just had her eye on him. I think it almost, I would say it began almost from a point of like curiosity. I think if she's, you know, used to working at this like country club, or, you know, seeing all these sort of characters and the Kooks and everything, she must see so many people, and also from this position of being silent in that world and just seeing, you know, everyone around her. And I think he catches her eye, and it stems just from curiosity, almost. Like, I think she's able to see that he's putting on a face, and that there's something more to him. And I think she just leans into wanting to understand it and then take care of it and so on. But I think she's just really set on loving him and bringing out the best, you know, in him and things. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's a good influence on him, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think Sophia's impressions are of the Pogue specifically? Does she have any impressions of them, or is everything she knows from them kind of from Rafe?
I think she must be aware of them. I kind of picture it like a bit of like a neighborhood thing where you're like, oh yeah, this is the kid that lives, you know, bit down the street or anything like that. And any smaller town, I think that becomes kind of the dynamic where you're very aware of other people. But I think she's probably mostly heard about, you know, closer stories through him. So she probably is looking through different lenses, and she's like, well, is it that difficult of a relationship? Like, why don't you just see this and everything? But I think it's like a bit innocent, and just she's like in her own kind of corner, just watching everyone else. Yeah.
Well, she kind of was innocent, but now she's sort of tied in with Hollis and all of that
Oh yeah.
drama. So can you talk about how that relationship is going to change now? Especially, I mean, I wouldn't say she betrays him, but she does kind of like betray his trust, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I'm terrified of accidentally spoiling anything. But as for what's out in part one, yeah, I think it's those really beautiful, tones and change to play with. Gives a nice little arc because they're coming from such an intimate place where he's kind of sharing his doubts and questions, and she's there to support him, and she leans on him too. And then suddenly, I think that like face that he had on, and comes in through, and then she ends up doing the same, and it's yeah, it gets amazing though. It's a really cool little change with both characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like obviously we know Rafe has done some stuff. I'm curious if Sophia knows anything about like how checkered his past is. Does she know about it? How does she feel about it? Does she think she can change him? Which, girl, probably not, but
I think I think she might be aware of it through maybe stories or things of the sort, but just as a teenager, very, very, very young adult or anything, I think she just has this kind of thing of being so set on being like, no, well, I know who you are and everything, that she's like happy to look past these things or maybe not sit down and actually question them. But I don't think there's necessarily much logic to it other than just being really eager to like love this other person and support them. But I don't think she would necessarily have full truth as to what he has done before.
Right. I mean, that's a lot to
she
tell.
hears it and just like, I don't care, I love him. Yeah. Something.
I mean, maybe she should investigate into that.
I really agree with you. I would have a talk with Sophia myself. Like, listen.
You can't just ignore some of these things.
You can't just leave that aside. Exactly.
There's like problematic worldview and then like drowning your sister. Like there's like a divide.
Yeah, there's a spectrum. There's a line you should cross.
Definitely. Yeah. Where do you think her family stands with her dating Rafe? And will we see any more of their involvement in part 2?
The family involvement with family?
Yeah, Sophia's family specifically. Like
right.
Kind of like
sure, yeah.
Hollis as well, I think, kind of.
Yeah. I think a little bit in a way, but I think it's mostly what we saw as far as, the whole little family together. I think they're just letting her have her own, like, I don't know, kind of go into her own like world and decision with it. I think she, from these few little scenes with the family, she always comes in, she's very certain, she's like, I know what I'm doing, like, it's fine. So I think it's at that age where it's like, just leave me alone, mom or dad, like I got this. And but I don't think they necessarily feel good or safe about it at all. I think it's an enormous contrast.
Right. I mean, like most of the parents and children in this show, kind of a gap. And then I just want to touch a little bit on part 2 and ask you what you can tease for us. Will we ever see Sophia's, I guess, loyalty to Rafe waver, or does it strengthen in the second part of the season?
Oh, geez, I really don't want to get in trouble because I don't have like a proper guideline with that. But I will say it's very exciting and there's a lot of turns. And I think it just gets more like in crescendo. Like it just, develops into this, just really like thrilling arc for the characters, I think individually and together. So I'm going to say that and not get in trouble.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah, terrified.
And then just a final question.
Yeah.
If there is a member of the Pogues that you like, if there's somebody that you haven't shared a screen time with, I guess I'll say it like that. Is there a character that you think like Sophia would work really well with on screen together, even if it's, a contentious relationship or something like that? Is there somebody that you're like, oh, I wish I had a scene with that character?
That's so hard because I really wish I got to share more screen time with all my castmates, really. Someone the other day mentioned that we thought that Kiara and Sophia would be an interesting duo, and I guess that's a nice little one. That would be interesting to see. But really, I would love to share more screen time with all my castmates. Really, but that's a cute little. If you think about it, why they would even end up together. It's nice, Kiara.
I mean, this show has a tendency to put people together that I never thought would like have.
I know.
And I'm like, oh, I guess they're on the same side. I can't even find like logic in that right now, but someone said it the other day. I was like, I'm gonna run with that. No, it works. It works because she's like, you know, they're both like kind of towing both sides of the track. So
yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for speaking with me. I honestly, I'm really looking forward to the second part of this. And now I'm like, what kind of twists are in store? And there are always twists on the show, so I don't think you gave anything away with that one.
Okay, good, perfect.
But thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me.
Yeah, no, thank you for the time. Lovely interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you.